Hey, this is my body right after C-section. I still have a little pudge. I have like a waistband on top. My Victoria's Secrets are on. Oh yeah. And I am so bad at recording with a camera. I don't know how these girls do it, but here I am.
Oh, where have I been? Stupid silence. You've been standing right there all along, even though it's been unspoken.
Welcome back to my channel. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. You guys don't understand how it feels to give birth to something. Like it's very, very, very complicated to say. But I want you guys to know that I'm back. It took me a minute to upload the video. I want you guys to understand that I had a whole big baby. Okay, I had a big baby. I had a 10-pound baby, and I'm here to talk about it. Let's talk. So previously, in my other video, you saw my at-home birth. My midwife came, my doula came, and I was excited to say I didn't give birth at the house, but I gave birth at the hospital. I'm excited. I'm happy. I gave birth generally. I gave birth. Anyway, so I was contracting maybe every 2 minutes, every 3 minutes. I was contracting, the body was doing what it got to do. But what happened, my stomach, my core muscles in my stomach, they were not contracting how they used to be when I was 25. I guess what happened after the second baby, I don't know, I had diastasis where the muscles separated, but I never took care of my body to bring it back together. I was busy with my second son. He was sick. I was in and out of the hospital. I was not concerned about my body. But this time around, I am. And it's going to be my business. Because my son is autistic. The second son is autistic. And I've heard stories on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram that there will be an episode where you gotta be athletic in order to chase your child who thinks that you're playing, but they're running towards traffic or they're running towards danger because they're not aware of danger. So I'm gonna make it my business to prepare my body just in case for anything and for health good reasons. Because I need my body back. This summer I'm gonna look good, you know, this summer. Anyway, so I had a contraction. My core muscle was not cooperating, and it was around like 5 o'clock in the morning. I realized I can't do this. It was very, 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 very painful. I was in pain. My midwife, she was by me. She was encouraging me. I feel so sorry for her. I keep saying sorry. Like I was very apologetic. I was saying sorry. And even the doula was kind of like done with me saying sorry. Then it came to the last point where I had to pull. So she gave me the belly cloth that I had to hold onto my belly. I had that and I was pulling so that the baby can come down. And the baby was not coming down. And she advised me that if the baby do come down, when the head comes out, the shoulders and the body will have an issue coming out. And I think there's like a medical term where the shoulders is like a prolapse shoulders, and then the baby's gonna have to go through therapy. My second son is already in therapy. He's in physical therapy, OT, ABA. He's going through a lot of therapy, and I'm assisting him with that. I wouldn't want a newborn to go through that. And we're dealing with spikes of COVID, and I didn't want that. So I looked to my left because my husband was on my left, holding my left leg, while my doula was holding my right leg, and she was pulling. It was that serious. Um, I didn't show you that part because I felt like it was too much. Like too much was showing. I couldn't cover that much. I didn't want to get banned from YouTube. And my husband was like, sweetie, down there is too big. I don't want the world to see what I got. And I was like, yes, sir. Yes, king. Anyway, so I looked to my left and I told my husband, I was like, husband, what do you think? And our motto is no sacrifice, no victory. We got to sacrifice something in order to succeed. Something has to happen to succeed. And it's been our motto since we got together. You know, it was a sacrifice of, you know, leaving the person we're with to be with each other. It was a sacrifice of leaving where we're at that was comfortable to be here. It was a sacrifice for everything. So our motto is no sacrifice, no victory. So he said that, and immediately I look at my midwife and she gave me what she told me. She told me what she told me, and I said, all right, let's do this. Okay, so we agreed to go. And she was like, okay, you know, let me go get dressed. The doula was like, let me call the taxi. I said, wait a minute. I'm not calling no taxi. Let's call the ambulance. She's like, no, the ambulance fee is too expensive. I was like, I don't care about no goddamn fee. I don't pay. The insurance is going to pay. I've done this already. And let's do this. She's like, no, let's take the taxi. It's better this way. It'll be faster this way. And I'm like, what is faster than ambulance? They go through lights. I was like, you know what? Okay, let's do this. She went outside. She got the taxi, and it was an Uber. And I got dressed. I just put on a dress and a sweater, and I said, let's do this. Let's go. And it took me 30 minutes to get from the 3rd floor here at my apartment down to the lobby and down to the car. And I was saying to the driver, thank you. And I can hear my midwife was like, breathe, clench, grunt. And I'm like, mind you, I never been in a taxi in my life in labor. I've been in an ambulance. So I couldn't open my legs because I'm sitting straight. I couldn't lean all the way back because I'm sitting straight. I felt bad to lean against my midwife because I'm like, I'm a whole 210 pounds. Baby, I don't want to lean against this lady. If something happens to me, she's going to have to like literally drag my ass out of this Uber taxi. And I was just like, oh my God. So we got in front of the hospital and I was like, okay, let's go. And I got a contraction. I'm like, oh. And then the driver was like, hey. He sounds African, so I'm going to do a little accent. He's like, hey, master, please, breathe. And I was like, and my neighbor was like, grunt. She's like, deep down. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Mind you, I've been doing this since 6 in the afternoon on the 7th. Mind you, I wanted the baby to come December 7th. I wanted the baby to have 7. Okay, my first son has 27. My second son has 17. And I wanted him to have 7. I wanted everybody to have 7s. And he came on the 8th. But it's okay, glory to God, he's good. But that was my preference. That's what I wanted. But it didn't happen because that's not what he wanted. So when we got in front of the hospital, I told my doula, go inside. They always give wheelchairs for women who was in labor. She came back outside. She was like, there's no wheelchair because of COVID. I was like, oh my God, this is the reason why I didn't want to go to the hospital. Because of COVID, there's always something about, because I know it's going to be something. So she's like, we're going to have to walk to the elevator. I said, what? As soon as I said, what? I caught a contraction. I was like, and I was like, I'm sorry. I was holding her hand and I was squeezing it. And mind you, the look that I saw in her face, I think I probably squeezed too tight. But I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. She was like, it's okay. And I'm like, oh, and I brought her down. I brought her down with me. I was like, oh, and she's like, it's okay. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. The midwife was just like rocking with me. And I love her so much. I love her so freaking much. She was there by my side, and she was so calm. Like you ever seen somebody so calm? Like, she was so calm. And I was like, I thank God that I choose you and you choose me. She could have told me, no, I don't want you to be, we're full, but she was so calm. Okay, so she was so calm. She was so collective. Even in the midst of rushing, she was calm. Okay, so we got to the hospital, and mind you, it took me a long time to get in the labor and delivery room, because I was just like, the contraction was so much, I couldn't bear with it. So we finally got into the triage room. Everybody was like, oh my God, how many weeks? This is that and third. They give me all these questions, asking me all these questions. I already know the routine. They're working on paperwork for me. Boom. So my midwife, she was, basically she was telling them what was going on, what was happening. And then they was like, we're going to have to do an emergency C-section. You've been in labor for so long. You're fully dilated, and we have to take the baby out. We don't want to risk anything. And I said, hold on. Let me talk to my midwife. Mind you, throughout all this pain, I forgot the conversation I had with my husband and my midwife who was in house. So I had to, again, ask her, what does she think? She held my hand and she touched me. I don't know if you guys saw in the video how calmly she was touching my legs. She touched my arm and she calmly was rubbing it. And I felt like the presence of my mom was there. And let me tell you, to lose a mother and for her to not even be by your side, I don't even know. I'm fighting back tears right now, but I don't even know how to express what she did for me. My husband is my husband. But for a woman to understand what another woman needs, and it's just a simple touch, I will never, ever forget anything. And even when it came to my last appointment, I held back tears because if I started crying, I don't know, like I would not leave and I had to go and pick up my child. But anyway, she was touching my arms calmly, and she told me, listen, we spoke about this. Remember, the baby's too big, couldn't come down. We did it long. We did what we had to do. This is what we're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to get a C-section. And I looked at her and I said, I never had a C-section. I am very scared. She's like, don't be scared. Don't be scared. I'm going to be with you throughout the whole thing. And I said, really? Mind you, okay, I paid for a home birth service. I paid for that. But I didn't know that, like, I you know what? I never read anything. Like people who never read instruction. I read everything else, but I never read the part where if in case of an emergency, because I knew that I was going to give birth vaginally. I never knew that I would do C-section. So she was like, yeah, I'm going to be by your side. And I said, okay, great. So the doctors, everybody was asking her so much questions. If she's diabetic, she has high blood pressure, this, that, and third. How many weeks, if she's a risk, if she's breech, because remember my baby was breech, but then after the chiropractor, things happen, things change. So they asked her so much questions. She had everything. She had a little iPad, little mini laptop, and she said, bloop, bloop, bloop. And all my information was like came up. And she sent it to the doctor immediately. And I was like, this is amazing. I'm happy I had a home birth. And then everybody came. They injected something in my arm right here. They gave me the IV line. They started my IV. And the lady, she was like, are you due for shaving? And I said, I did shave a week ago. She's like, no, we got to do our own shaving. She poured iodine on my belly and my pubic area, and she shaved me. And mind you, she kind of lifted the belly up. I said, ma'am, I'm contracting and I'm peeing at the same time. She's like, you gotta pee. I was like, yes, I gotta pee. I can't hold anymore, please. I need a bedpan. And she's like, no. Don't pee. I'm gonna give you a catheter. She's like, wait. I was like, I'm sorry. It came out. I was like, I'm sorry. It came out. She's like, okay. We have a chuck underneath you. Let me know if you gotta pee again. And I said, I don't have to pee. She's like, okay, good. I'm gonna put a catheter. She put a catheter. My first time in my life ever having a catheter. Now I understand how these patients felt when I was cleaning around their catheter when I was in a nursing home. She put it in. I was like, oh, it kind of hurt. And then she put the catheter, and then she shaved me. As soon as she finished shaving me, the doctor came in. She was, and he's like, oh, sign this. This is what we're gonna do. This is gonna be an emergency section. We gotta go now. The room is prepped for you. The room is prepped. And then I saw, while they wheeled me out the room, I saw my midwife, and she was getting ready. She was putting her gown on. I said, are you coming? You coming? I need you to be by my side, please. And she's like, yeah, I'm coming. I'm just putting on my gown. And I was like, okay. Mind you, I had a footage of them wheeling me to the emergency room. The emergency operating room. I wanted you guys to see everything. I had everything. My phone, I don't know what happened. Everything is deleted. So I had some footage of TikTok. Go there, Mrs. Leon Life on TikTok. There's a little bit of clips there, or maybe I'll post it up. Everything got deleted. I even had everything where I wanted to show you my meals every day. Gone. I wanted to show you my nurse. Everything is gone. So this is the reason why I'm talking and let you know what happened. Okay, so boom. We got to emergency room. The operating room, and I saw everybody. This is my first time in an operating room. I saw everybody. Everybody was just looking at me. It was like, hey, hi, congratulations, we're gonna have a baby. And I saw Caucasians, I saw Asians, and I saw African Americans, blacks. And I saw a whole bunch of blacks. I saw a whole colored people, me. I saw a lot of people that looks like me. And I was kind of happy. I never been in that position. And the guy who was going to give me the epidural, he was black. He looked like me. And he had a swag about him that, it kind of calmed me down as I was having the contraction. He was like, hey, girl, congratulations. We about to have a baby, but I need you to stay still. And he had a little stern to him. And I was like, okay. And I was like, wait. I can't, I'm about to move. Please, guys, I'm having a contraction. He was like, go ahead, have the contractions. And I was happy that he said, go ahead. Because some people, I heard a lot of people were saying, okay, even you have a contraction, that doesn't mean anything. And I was like, oh my God. So for him to say, all right, go ahead, have the contraction, blew me away. So he said, go ahead, have the contraction. And I had the contraction, and there was a lady who was in front of me, a nurse, and she was in front of me, and she held me. She held me by my side, and she was like, put your hands on my shoulders. So I put my hands on her shoulders, and then she was like, press down. So I pressed down on her shoulders. And she kind of did like a little knee buckle. And I kind of laughed, but there's nothing I could do. I was sitting straight, and she told me to put my hands on her shoulder and push down. So that's all I could have done. And I was like, okay, it's coming down. All right, I'm ready. And as the contraction was going down, that's when he put the needle in. And mind you, in my head, I wanted to flinch, but he told me not to. So I was like, wow. He's like, okay, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I felt that. He's like, okay, good. I'm happy that you felt that. And then he's like, okay, I'm about to put the needle. I was like, you didn't put the needle yet? He's like, no. So I was like, okay. I was like, please make it quick because I feel like I'm about to have another contraction. He's like, okay, I got this. Because he said he got this, I was comfortable. I was okay. I felt like I was out. He said he got the, okay. If somebody who is of your culture speak your language, Come on. That was my language right there. I got this. He said he got this. All right, so he said he got this. He put the needles, and immediately I felt the epidural, and my leg gave up. My left leg gave up. My right leg was strong. I was like, oh, I don't feel my legs. He's like, that's a good thing. And I was like, okay. He was like, okay, so I need you to lay down. And I said, but I don't feel anything. I can't feel anything in the bottom. He's like, all right, so I'm going to have to help you down. So the nurse that was in front of me helped my legs and not shoved it, like, I don't know. Like, she moved it to the bed. And it was so tiny. The bed was so freaking tiny. It was like, I'm not going to fall. And I had my arms, two of my arms tied up. Two of my arms had IV, and he put like this bubble thing where he said it's to keep me warm because I'm going to be shivering, and he doesn't want me to move. And then they put the drape. Well, as soon as they put the drape, that's when my midwife came in. And she was like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, I'm nervous. I'm scared. I've never been in this position. She's like, it's okay. And she had this little laugh. She's like, and it made me okay, you know. And then the guy that gave me the epidural, he was like, you good? I'm like, I'm good. He's like, all right, that's good. And he's like, you cold? I'm like, no, like you got this on me. I'm good. He's like, all right, good. He's like, look, you got locks. He's trying to calm me down. He's like, you got locks? I was like, yeah. He's like, yo, I was trying to get me some locks, man. I was like, yeah, I had this one for 3 years since my second born was born. I was like, wow, that's cool. He's like, all right, so they're about to start. I need you to stay still. I need to relax. Everything's going to be all right. As soon as he said that, I said, all right. So it was like a good 20 minutes. They were just like, it's like a lot of movement. And then they said, oh, it's going to be pressure. Man, it was pressure. It felt like I had to poop, but the poop couldn't come out. It was pressure. And then immediately I heard the baby. And I was so happy. I started crying. I started worshiping. I said, God, I thank you. Everybody was like, hey, the baby's here. And they said something about, it started with a P. I'll find the word. But the baby was upside down. The baby was facing up. He was not facing down. So he was in the right position, but he was upside down. And I was like, wow. They was like, wow. Thank God you guys came, because, it'd have been interesting for you to give birth to a 10-pound, 4.4 ounces. I was like, what? Wow. They was like, oh, you diabetic? And immediately they said that they got to bring the baby to the ICU. I said, why? This is not my first big baby. Why? They was like, well, it's a protocol to have a baby in the ICU to check on the lungs, to check on everything, glucose, everything. And I said, okay. And the baby was crying. And then I said, Alexander, come on, baby. Mommy's here. Because I used to rub on the belly. And I used to say to my baby, Alexander, stop it. You better stop it. So I used to talk to my belly. So baby was done. Everything was done. I gave God glory. I gave God thanks. I prayed over my child. And everything came out great. It took a long time for them to close me back up. And I kind of fell asleep. So when I fell asleep, the doctor was like, hey, please, you got to stay up. You got to keep your eyes open. I said, but I'm a little sleepy. I was like, I'm good. I'm a little sleepy. He's like, no. Please stay up. Please, we need you to stay up so that we can monitor you. I'm like, I've been in labor for so long. I want to sleep. He's like, I understand, but you got to stay up. And I'm like, okay, I stay up. So I was talking to my midwife, and I told her, hey, what's going on? How's everything? She's like, everything's going on. I said, what happened to the doula? Because the doula was not in. There was like, it's protocol for one person to come in. And I said, okay. She was talking to my husband, and my husband had to stay in the house. I came only with my midwife, and my husband had to stay. is this the first time he missed his child's birth, but he had to stay for the 2 other kids. And I understand, that was the sacrifice that we had to make. The sacrifice where my husband was not going to be there with me, but my midwife was there with me. And I give God glory for that anyway. So I was finished from the operating room. They wheeled me back to the triage, and immediately they came and said that I was positive with COVID. I said, how? I never went anywhere. I spent 2 weeks in the house. My son didn't go to school. How did I get COVID? It was like, well, probably could have been your kids. It could have been anybody. I said, that is impossible. No, I don't believe that. They was like, well, we're going to have to isolate you. What? They isolated me in the room, meaning that they had a PPE out in the door. Anybody who came in had to give me, I had to cover up with PPE. Not only that, they cover up with PPE, they, basically, I felt very isolated. I felt very isolated. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating in watching my labor video. My son got up and I couldn't record anymore. So, as you can see, I put some clips here so you see the baby in the hospital. I had a great time. And I'm blessed to say this is my last boy. I'm done. Have a great day and may God bless you.